Are we introducing you as Cooky? Not your name? Your...
Oh, my real name?
Do you want to go by June or do you want to go by Cooky?
Cooky?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, God, you need to ask.
I had to. Yeah, I know. I was planning on it, but I thought I at least better give you the option.
Oh, no, Cooky.
Cooky.
I wouldn't probably know enough to, well, I would, but I use it so seldom. When I sign something, that's about it.
Yep.
And then I don't have to say it.
I remember the first time I met you and I said your name and you said, my name is Cooky.
Did I say it nice like that?
Well, I mean, you said, don't call me that. Call me Cooky. Got it. From that day forward, you were Cooky to me.
Oh, sometimes people will still say June, and I'll say, I ain't going to answer if you call me that.
Well, I guess we should introduce. You may not know this, but you're kind of famous on this podcast already.
Yeah,
We use your situation and your a lot. We talk about it a lot.
Okay.
So, yeah, we don't talk about your name a lot, but just the situations. Yeah. So, this week we have Cooky with us, and you are currently an IRIS participant. And we've been with you since, goodness, I think 8 years.
Has to be at least that.
I think 8 years. Yep. Because we've been in business for 8 years. And you
were... because I think you were just kind of...
Getting started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As the story goes, I think you were client number 2.
Number 2?
Yep.
Like the OG.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know that, because I know we worked on... blind-friendly websites, which there aren't very many.
They are not. We have learned from each other over the years, because you always tell me, I don't know how you sighted people do it. And I'm the total opposite of, how do you turn this voiceover off? It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, and I did learn, because... well, and I also remember when the screen got turned off, and I didn't. I said, "Well, I didn't turn it off. I didn't know it could be turned off." So then I had to get somebody to go on the internet, and there was a place that showed. So then they told me. So now I know how to turn the screen on and off, and obviously I know how to turn the voiceover on and off.
Thank goodness. Like I said, I struggled with that. Every time we have to check your email or something, I'm like, it's talking back at me. It's
There's a lot of sighted people don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It just slows down the process.
But I can't help it.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm useless without it, and I'm pretty useless even with it. The only thing is, with none now, I can't even... check my glucose or do anything.
Because you rely on literally everything for technology. You rely on adaptive equipment every single day.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So taking that away, it's life altering for you.
It makes life a lot more boring too, because there's less you can do, and you can't help yourself much.
Yep.
I mean, saying there's something you want to know. The only option I've got is to go on the internet and try to look it up. And even looking it up, I think, is somewhat different for me than it is for a sighted person.
Oh, I can imagine.
When I'm telling somebody, well, go here or go there, they do it different than I do. When I ask, I have to go where I put the search thing. I'll say, I wanna look for a book or something, or where to find one. I'll go and I'll say, any book, usually I can put the actual book I'm looking for in, or which I suppose you guys do it that way. I don't, I don't know, but I know like one time I was looking, if I'm looking for a specific thing, well, let's say I'm looking for a toilet bowl cleaner or something like that. Well, there's a ton of different kinds, but I may not know exactly what I'm looking for or in which way I want to use it, so then I'll put that in the search form, and we just go, and they'll list the different sites or where you can look it up, or they'll list different names of it. And of course, God, they come in everything from magnetic to tablets to foam. And I would have never known there was that many different kinds. Well, and the usual, that has the bleach in or whatever that you squeeze into it. So, I mean, it's unbelievable what's out there.
Oh, yeah. I'd say that's pretty similar.
Yeah.
We search it in the search bar as well.
And it tells us what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we talk a lot about how systems on the podcast and how systems can be challenging and be a barrier, especially for you, right? And the way they set up some of these websites, I mean, my gosh, you gotta go all the way down. Sometimes you can't, some websites will get you right to the place you want to get. Yep.
You can hit like heading, or if I'm at the top of the page, and I know I have to go pretty far down, you can go by link, you can go by heading, but like if I put a search thing in Google, then I'll go, I get to where it says Google, and then I'll just hit an H, and it'll take me right to where the search items will be. Otherwise, you have to go all the way through down, and whoa, I bet you it's a half a page of crap.
Well, and it has to read everything to you. It's not like you can just scroll like us. You have to listen to every word.
To it, yeah. Otherwise, so that's something you kind of learn. But some websites will let you do that, and some won't.
Interesting.
Who taught you how to do that? Because, I mean, you weren't born with an iPad in your hand like my kids were.
Who taught me how
to use all the technology that you're currently using?
Well, I went to summer school to try to learn some, and my ex, well, he's gone now, but he was into it a lot more than I, so I learned quite a bit from him.
Okay. And
even now, I'll say, you didn't have to leave. I need help, And I had a little bit of classes, but the people that I learned from, all of them are gone. One died through COVID and and this and that, and, so it makes it a little bit harder. And some of it you just learn on your own. Once you get a little idea, you just start to pick it up a little bit, and some of it sometimes I'll just have to put right in there. So does anybody know anything about what did I need to, to clear tabs to get to the certain subject that I want? And you'd think you'd know that all the time, but because some of that jumps around, or maybe you hit something the wrong way, how do you get back there?
Yeah.
And then you'll get answers from people that are on, online, or they read what you put in there, and they'll get back to you, email you or something like that.
So what system are you using now that's currently isn't, I guess, user friendly?
Mine is so. My device, my Braille device, which is a Braille Touch.
Mm-hmm.
That's an Android, and it's probably about 13 years old, roughly.
In the technology world,
can't even update it.
Yeah,
anymore.
I remember when we first started, we had a whole list of things, and one of them you were working with the Blind and Deaf Association, right? And they helped. Yeah, they were coming to get a device,
help, and they come, once or twice, or if I really get stuck, like the other day. Well, not the other day. It was probably a few weeks ago. I was in the shopping area, but it wouldn't exactly get there. It would say say the name of the place, but when you wanted to get to the place, it wouldn't do it. And I said to her, what's going wrong? I said, used to be, if you entered into the place you wanted to get, it would take you there. It would go, and I said, it doesn't do anything now. It just says it, and no matter what you do, it won't move. And that's because it's too old.
Yeah.
It can't do it anymore.
Yep.
They couldn't update that.
Just like any device, it's already outdated.
Yeah,
13 years,
it's so
my goodness.
outdated that you can't do. And even my emails, you can't do anything with. I have to use the oldest version I can get.
Wow.
And you still have some troubles. Sometimes it'll enter it and do what you want, and sometimes you can't get to the email's there, but you can't open it.
So can you imagine how much more independent or how much smoother your days would go if you actually had technology that worked? Or websites that you can access?
I could do a lot more. I just wish it wasn't so ungodly expensive.
I know.
So what is the cost of a replacement touch? Have you priced them out?
A bill, I think about $6,500 was the last cost I knew.
That is, wow.
So that's your touch, and then you use another device at your house. Is that just an iPhone that you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not good at it because
it's all touch
screens and they're so touchy. You barely touch something and it's squawking at you. I mean, even to get to my glucose thing, it takes. And when you got to set up the apps and all of that, I can't do it.
Yeah.
No,
somebody help.
Not a lot of devices that are blind friendly.
No.
When we first started working together, it was pre-COVID, and you were doing you were a speaker at that point, right? You were going around and doing presentations and public speaking.
Yeah, I did a lot of different kind of speaking, usually with dog, because that's how I got mostly to and from places. And but I did a lot of talking on how, basically, we do anything that a sighted person can, excepting we have to do it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would take a lot of my equipment with me so I could show them. Some was audio, some was Braille, and some was, if you want to say in between, you use touch, but like when you play games or puzzles or something, it can kind of be a little of each or not at all, because I like to play around with puzzles if I get too bored. And of course the card games or anything like that, that's Braille. some of which you can buy already brailled, or I braille it myself.
Yeah. I was shocked at this. So every month we're still assisting as of right now with Support Broker. And every month you need somebody to help with the mail and reading the mail and things like that.
Yeah.
Who all can send you mail in Braille?
Not too many. Very, very little. Now the electric company will.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So shout out to
Cable
We Energies.
doesn't.
Yes.
They like to use, they like email, and of course that isn't going to do me any good right now. Yeah, there's not too much, I would say, in Braille. Once in a while, I correspond with friends that have the same problem I do, so we'll use Braille, or a tape or something like that. Cassettes used to be used the most. Now, most of it would be a CD or something. Now, books and stuff, that comes on a cartridge, and I usually get about 15 books on a cartridge.
That's awesome.
And then when I'm finished, I'll call up, I want this or this, or, this area, and then, they'll send new, you send them back and forth.
And that's from the library, right? The
Milwaukee Library.
Yep. They were at the convention that we were at.
Yep. So would that fall under a reasonable accommodation? Like if you call the place and say, is there a way you can send me my mail in Braille? I wonder how many places actually have the ability to do that.
Not too many.
No.
Once in a while you get something, or sometimes you can call the library and they may have an answer for you. Like some things we get through the library if we want them, like a bill identifier.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have a place where they could tell you to get cartridges or different things. Now I'm kind of set up for the bill identifier if mine would break, or I get the schedules for the Packer games and stuff. Like that.
And that all comes in Braille?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but you got to be signed up through the library, and now they know, send them. So every year when the schedules come out, I get it.
That's awesome. I think one of the cooler pieces of equipment that at your home that I've seen is your Braille label maker. I love that thing. I think it's the neatest thing
my
ever.
Braille writer?
Yep.
It's like a typewriter. It's like
That's what they call it, a Braille writer.
A Braille, and that thing is solid metal.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
And then I don't know what it's called, but
and I can't hardly pick it up anymore.
I bet not. That thing is solid. And then your pill reader.
Yeah.
That thing is pretty cool.
Oh, the script talk? That comes through Envision America, and they actually have, the script talk, it's on loan. It's like our library cassette, library machine that reads the cartridges for our books. That's on loan from the library. Now, if something were to happen to me, I'm going to have to make sure, and I'll have to get that put down. So who's ever stuck with that job, that would have to go back to the Library of Congress or to the Milwaukee Library, and any cartridges that I might have. The script talk would go back to Envision America. So some of the equipment, and if I have anything from the deafblind organization, even though it isn't doing much anymore, the Braille Touch, that would go back to the deafblind.
Okay. So a lot of the stuff that you use was not and is not funded through like Medicaid.
No.
That's so interesting to me because it's the same premise as your wheelchair. It's a medical device.
But and I'm not sure, but it never has been I know that if I have something, that is funded, that way, and I can't really think of much that is. It would have to go, it goes back. Now, if it's something I actually own, like my Braille writer, then I probably will donate it to the Lions clubs or something like that, so that if there's some person that reads Braille or listens to different things or can use it, they can give it to them. I wouldn't expect somebody to have to pay for something. I mean, Braille writers themselves cost close to $1,000.
Wow. I wonder what they look like right now, because yours is fairly old, right?
Mine is pretty old, but that's what they would cost now. When I got my first one, they were $80.
That dates you just a tad.
And I was 7 when I got my first one.
Wow.
Wow.
And it got dragged around everywhere I went. It went to this school with me. It went when I was out studying computers and out studying tax law and everything. No, it went with me. I wasn't going anywhere without my Braille writer and stuff like that. Over the years, I had to, when I had the fire, where the building burnt down because of an arsonist, I had to get a new one because everything pretty well went along with the building. And I'm going to say that has to be a good, oh golly, it's got to be going close on to 20 years.
Wow. That tracks.
Because I was on Calumet at that time. And so, and you learn to take care of it because if you don't, you're going to have some troubles.
Absolutely.
Really, I mean, like I say, once a lot of that stuff goes, you're either going to be without or hopefully you can, find somewhere where you can get a used one or anything like that. But getting a used Braille Touch is going to be any good.
Be interesting.
Unless you were able to get a new one, and they don't do them as often. Now, a regular computer, there again, is okay, but boy, you got to get a lot of software to make it work for you.
Yep. So you mentioned that you went to school, and so college, picked up on that.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like for you?
Well, when I went to Fox Valley Tech, I majored in sales and marketing, and I actually had readers from Lawrence University that used to come and read my
physical readers, physical people, right?
Yeah. Honestly,
that's what
amazing.
I used then.
That's amazing.
Made a lot of good friends that way too, and got to do a little extra stuff outside of school because you know people a little bit. And of course, back then, I didn't have my guide dog. I got my first guide dog at 20, but I just knew how to get around fairly good. I gotta say now, them days are over.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got too spoiled by a dog. Some of it, though, has to do with I had fairly decent hearing back then, which I don't have now. And I would be too chicken.
You opted not to learn to cane walk, correct?
Well, let's say I opted not to use it. I can use it. I can do it. But I felt like a drunken soldier. I didn't like it. can't go straight, and you find everything there is to find, and even as a kid, I'd been hit by a car a couple times, so I'm a bit gun shy.
Yeah.
And I trust the dog, but I didn't trust me. Not, with a cane. I know the ins and out of it. I know how to do it, but I don't trust the traffic, and I don't trust myself. And, and when you get into angled streets like you do down in Milwaukee, you got to do that right, or you're walking down the wrong street. And there again, you could teach the dog, and then you knew how to do it and whatnot. But with a cane, you didn't necessarily walk a straight line. And if you curved off just a little too much, well.
How long did you live in Milwaukee?
About 26 years.
So you navigated Milwaukee without sight, without a cane, and you got your first dog at 20.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine nowadays, though? I mean,
I don't know how a dog does it nowadays. I really don't. With these electric cars, drive me crazy. You can't hear them.
No, they're so
you don't
quiet.
know they're there. And they've made, where they used to have to supposed to wait to turn left or right, and let a pedestrian go. Well, they don't.
Oh, yeah, you have to be careful with that nowadays.
Yes, you sure do. They're not looking.
I know of a few people who've been really, really hurt because of that.
Yeah.
Or the roundabouts. Goodness gracious.
I wouldn't do that, dog or no dog.
Crossing those roundabouts is horrendous.
Can't. No way. And so, you've got these roundabouts. You've got, the streets are wider. That part wouldn't bother me is if I had a dog. But, the electric cars where you can't hear it. I don't even know how the dogs can catch that. So, because that's how we learn to know when you cross or not cross, because if they're going in front of you this way, you wait, you stay there. If they're going the way you're walking, then go.
Yep.
But if you don't have that,
I mean, maybe a dog can pick up on it. They've got such a low hum, so maybe the dogs can hear the hum, but they are so quiet. You don't even know they're on.
Yeah, and I've been in them, and I can't hear nothing. I only know it's doing something because you can feel it boom. But
So did your dog go to work with you too?
Yes.
Because you worked in a factory, right?
I did.
It was loud in there, I'm sure.
And sometimes I worked helping people in a vending stand back then. Well, and that's what I was hoping I was going to be able to do. But back then, the law wouldn't let you. They said, no dogs. And that's what happened with the tax law too. Now, different states varied on that a bit. When I finished there with that, I was supposed to go to Fargo, North Dakota. And just as I graduated, the office closed.
Oh, man.
And so they said I could go, there again down to Milwaukee, but I had to use a cane. And I said, nobody's going to tell me how I have to travel.
I wonder when that law changed.
Yeah, when did that law change?
After I got mad and I talked to the seeing eye and we took them to court.
Yeah. How did that work out?
We won.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So other people work there now with dogs,
of course
but I wasn't going back down to Arkansas again. A year, that was about all I could take.
It's hot there.
It's hot, and not only that, it's muggy, and if it doesn't get done today, it'll get done tomorrow.
Laid back.
I couldn't stand that. I wouldn't want to be in New York where everything is way too fast.
Yeah.
But oh my God,
Too laid back.
yeah,
Too laid back. Yeah.
yeah. Which I know, and their attitude there is, if you don't know where you're going, you got no business being here. I mean, that's the way they treat you.
Mm.
But that so slow like that, drove me crazy.
I did not know you were a trailblazer. I mean, I kind of knew, but did
You
not
traveled
know.
all over.
Actually, when
Haven't
I
you?
got my first guide dog, it was shortly after that the
Yeah.
Wisconsin law came into being, that you could go anywhere with them. But I'm going to tell you, it probably took about 10, 15 years before you really felt like
Right.
it was being used properly. I
Okay.
mean, it's like I say, the government, they make the laws, but they sure don't think they have to follow them.
I think that's a lot of policies. It takes quite a long time for things to actually implement.
Yeah. I mean,
Or the change.
the planes gave you a problem.
Yeah.
And then they would say, well, you have to sit here, you have to sit there. I mean, you had no say.
Mm.
And in some cases, well, yeah, they still wanted to try to put the dog in with the luggage, that
Yeah.
luggage area. Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, I realized that if you had to send a dog back, which I never sent mine back, but when my husband had a stroke and couldn't use the dog anymore, I had to send the dog back. Well, then you have no choice because they're not, not in a harness and this and that and the other. So you just did what you had to do and hoped it went okay. But
How many dogs have you worked with?
6.
Amazing. So from the
6
age of
of them.
20, and when was your last puppy?
My what?
Your last one. So you started at the age of 20,
Yep.
and then when was your last?
Let's see. Parky, he was 14 when I had to retire him because he went deaf. I'm going to say I still had him when I met you, didn't I?
No.
Then it had to be
Choo
right
Choo was
about
there.
that. I was going to
Yep.
say about 8 or 9 years at the most.
Wow. Okay.
Ago. And like I say, he was 14 and I had to retire him because he was going deaf.
Mhm.
And blind and deaf don't work together.
Blind and deaf don't work together, no.
He did it. I mean, he would have guided, but he wouldn't have been able to hear the directions that I gave him, So,
That could have been interesting.
Yep.
yeah, not in too good of a way, though.
Mm-mm.
I remember you telling me about your canoeing trip once, and I was kind of blown away by that.
Canoeing?
Yeah, you told me that you went canoeing once.
Oh, I did a lot of canoeing.
Yeah.
One time, somebody asked me if I wanted to go fishing. I got so excited, I jumped up in the canoe, forgot what I was, tipped the whole thing over. But yeah, I also did white water rafting.
Dear. Wow.
Almost froze to death, though. The weather started out good, but it got below 0. So they had to call it off, and I thought I was going to die freezing to death. Whew. But yeah, I like water. I like being around water and anything. I used to dive and of course swim, but once I got the mastoid surgery, them days I had to die.
Yep.
Couldn't do it no more. Well, I could if I wanted to go deaf way back then, and no thanks.
Outside of, age that, happens to everyone, have you ever felt limited by your disability?
I'm going to say not. The thing that I have to say, though, I'm not going to say you never get frustrated, but I think the big thing is, for me, was hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. If you needed something read, unless it was in Braille, it was hurry up and wait
Mm-hmm.
until somebody came that could tell you what it was. Of course, there's what I call double duty, but I'm used to it. I mean, it was that way, young or old or whatever. When you go grocery shopping, or when I started to have to be on meds and all this crap, you got it. You had to come home. You had to label it. So there again, you waited till somebody came that could read you what it was and help you put it up, put it on the item. And so you knew what the heck you had. So if you wanted to make supper, you could find what you needed.
Very reliant on somebody else.
Yeah.
For your
much.
Systems. Yeah.
Even, as a kid, when I was at school, if my folks or something would write a letter, then we had, like, between lunch hour and afternoon classes, if you had mail, you waited in line for somebody to read what it said, So that was about the only way that you could do it.
I'm curious. We're always looking at resources and trying to find resources. Like, isn't there something that can read your mail for you? Isn't there a reader or something?
Nowadays, but of course not when I was younger.
Yeah.
There again, when the technology started, and of course the big, huge computers, there was a little bit, because when I was going to Fox Valley Tech, I really wanted to go into being an accountant.
Okay.
Because I loved math. But you had, the big computers out them days that stood in a room, but nothing like you have nowadays, like home computers. They didn't exist yet, so I couldn't do it. To do the class work or anything like that. But I think now with all the new tech, people can do almost anything, although Wisconsin is pretty conservative. So, I'm going to say probably up until I'm going to say probably a good 30 years ago, they decided what they thought blind people should do for jobs. You could, if you wanted to do this or that, like run a vending stand or teach or work with blind people to show them how to do different things, if they weren't born that way and it happened later in their life, you could do that kind of stuff. But otherwise, no. Or if you wanted to do like weaving, different things that they designated you could do, then you could get help. But if you wanted to do anything like a teacher, like in a I don't know, normal school, whatever you want to call normal, but that you couldn't, that you couldn't do. You had to have sight for that or this or that. Now it's you've got a lot more leeway, and of course nowadays kids go to school like regular kids. We didn't have that luxury when I was going to school. You either went, basically to state school for the blind.
What did you call that? Braille jail?
I called it a Braille jail.
Yeah.
And I still call it that. I mean, that's what it felt like to me. I mean, it was an institution. There's no other way to say it. If I didn't grow up with siblings and brothers and my first school, and it was the first of the kind, I went to Green Bay and I stayed the week with foster parents, if you will, and came home on the weekends, that's where I learned Braille and different things. We started out with 2 of us, I and one other girl that lived in Green Bay. And I went there through kindergarten through 5th grade, and then I had to go to the Braille jail. And I graduated there. But that was pretty much about it. And when you were there, I got home maybe 3 times a year.
Wow.
It was Christmas, one long teachers convention, and summer. And sometimes the teachers convention, I went home with another kid or something like that because they were closer, and we, got to go that way. And I think a couple of times I might have had a kid come home with me, that way.
That's so interesting.
And now I can't get away with that. I mean, that got changed. I'm going to say probably about 6-8 years after I graduated.
That would make sense, because we were just talking about this when all the institutions closed, and then I did some research, and we're thinking it was the 70s was the last of the institutions.
But I mean, it was. I mean, even the food you eat, and and like kids, all kids, I got myself into trouble a few times for stuff you do. If you got in trouble and they were mad at you, well, you got penalized. The main one I remember is you have to go to bed right after supper and sleep on a cot, and it was they call it a cloakroom. My opinion was a garbage room, because that's where all the dust mops and dust rags and the barrel where you threw all the garbage and everything. That's what that was.
Wow.
So when you were in kindergarten, you said that's when you started there?
No, I started there in 6th grade.
In 6th grade, that's where you graduated from?
Yeah, I graduated in 65, way back.
You were just a baby.
But, I mean, it doesn't leave a kid, it leaves you with a lot of different kind of feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're old enough to know, you got in trouble. I didn't mind the punishment. I just minded where it was. I mean, it leaves you thinking, you're with the trash.
Jeez, literally.
Yeah, literally with the, that's what they must think of you.
Well, we've come
it kind of leaves
a ways.
that feeling. You grow up kind of with different feelings than I think if you were at home or, going to school. Although I know there's some bad parents out there too,
But there was really no other way when you were going through that. That was just what families did when they had a child who was, I'm assuming, blind or deaf. They went to some type of an institute.
I mean, it's not, well, and even, I'm going to say, most of my foster parents I could have did without too, left them. I had one good home, and we remained friends until she passed away, which was a lot of years. But I had some that were, I had, like in one case, we got home from school about 4:00. I sat maybe 15 minutes, ate supper at 4:15. When you got done with supper, got thrown right into bed until you got up to go to school the next morning.
What was the point of the foster home? Was it just because it was in Green Bay where your access to school was?
My folks, would bring me on Monday morning and pick me up on Friday.
Okay, so that you had access to a school there.
Right.
Gotcha.
Of course, weekends were normal. I mean, I grew up like any other kid, and did our, what kids do. I lived in a block that if you went around the whole block, there were like 175 kids going around the block.
Wow.
Obviously, all different ages. So, you had those you played with and those you didn't worry about, but that's a lot of kids in a block.
Every time I'm with you, I learn something else.
Something.
That's why I like to visit you.
Something about
I
you
get
every
tidbits
time.
of your life that are just so cool. Not that your time in foster care was cool, but I did not know that about you or that that's how it was, in fact.
Yeah.
Well, you and I talk about this quite often, Cooky. How are the changes within the new IRIS waiver? How do they affect you?
I think they suck.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but how do they,
You said I could say
You can say anything you want.
I said nothing's off limits. Yep. How?
They suck. Well, and I'm very frustrated, I think, in more ways than one, because they didn't give you they didn't tell you. I mean, to this day, I have never gotten a letter or a phone call or anything saying, as of the end of this month, you have to do it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or we're not providing any kind of help for that. You either do it yourself or go elsewhere and find somebody that will help you.
Essentially, what we learned was that letter was never going to be sent out. That information was going to be in their annual packet. What's it called? Like their manual.
But that's what does it do
The
for,
handbook?
for
The handbook.
us
Handbook.
that are in there already?
Well, not only that, but you can give her a handbook, but Cooky, how are you going to read it?
I ain't.
Exactly. Unless you're
I ain't.
relying on somebody else to read it to
Well,
you.
I'm assuming I've actually never seen it, but I'm assuming it's all their programming and everything they offer. So it's a big
Yes.
book.
So
And I don't. It's not only that, but there again, why have an Americans Disabilities Act? That's they're not doing anything to help anybody. If they want to make the laws, then darn it, they should have to follow them.
Mm-hmm.
But like government, what can I tell you?
Mm-hmm. So you utilize support broker services a little bit differently than a lot of our
Then
other members.
probably, yes.
Yep. So we do the things that we assist with are, being your eyeballs, as you say.
Yeah.
So we help with mail, helping you pay your rent. We do help with your recruiting and your time card
Or a
reviews.
lot of times, it's somebody around, I'll holler out, eyeballs, I need some eyeballs. And sometimes it's just helping you find something in the house. Sometimes it's getting something read or just being able to get some access to something.
Yep. We do like your housing renewals and your
The
lease renewals
coordination,
and the
yes.
coordination pieces. So
Did I what?
we help with your annual reviews and stuff like that. Like we help with those, keeping your benefits going, all that good stuff. So that's a little bit more unique to your situation.
Yeah, and there again, if it doesn't get read, boy, you're gonna be and I know, talking about mail, maybe it gets to you and maybe it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple and I've been kicked off of stuff because of that.
Yeah, me and you have worked through pharmacy issues before because they were leaving your pills outside your door. We've worked through some more interesting situations together, and so now you lose support broker services. What's next for you?
I don't know. I guess you're gonna hope that you can, find the help you need, or maybe I'll have to do a little bit of finagling if they don't wanna, and if they don't like it, well, too bad. I won't tell them if I get somebody to work. I won't tell them anymore than I'll do like they do.
Yeah.
I know it's not nice, and I don't like to have to do that but they don't give you a choice.
I think one of the biggest barriers that you're up against right now is the technology to even log into the fiscal agent's website is not blind friendly.
No.
And not only that, but I'm talking about that. Not everybody has access to that, and not everybody has the learning capacity to do it.
Good point. Absolutely.
So what about those people? I mean, they seem to forget not everybody in this world has computers and iPhones and this and that. And they just don't. They can't afford it, or they just aren't interested, or they just don't want it.
Yeah.
Or can't afford it, or
don't have the ability.
I mean, you'd like to think everybody does, but they don't.
Right.
I mean, you have types of autism that some can and some can't.
Yeah.
You have, people that have brain injuries or just were born not what about them?
Yeah.
I mean, there's different reasons. There's different types of disabilities. I mean, it's not right.
And what we've learned throughout the years is there's exceptions to everything, right? How many times have we been told support broker services is supposed to be limited? It's supposed to be short term. And here we are 8 years later.
Well, and that's okay. And there again, not everybody has a spouse.
Yeah. So not everybody has the natural support. Not everybody has the support in general. But we've been down that road a time or two where, remember that time they suddenly took us off your plan without telling you? How'd that go over? You had some words, didn't you?
And you're lucky that there's people that care enough but you can't rely on that either. And I think the one thing I've learned, thank goodness, a long time ago, is you don't change the world. The world isn't going to change for you. You adapt yourself to fit into it, for one thing. And the other thing is, I've learned, don't take everything for granted. It's not even nice to take everything for granted. I mean, I don't think most people want to be taken for granted, and it will get you into trouble eventually.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, you've always been a very fierce advocate for yourself, which I have really loved. I loved watching you advocate for yourself over the years, because if something's not right, you're going to speak up.
I'm going to try. I mean, I not only because I don't think it's right for me, but if it's not right for me, it's not right for somebody else either. And I think sometimes if you want it and you need it bad enough, you have to fight for yourself.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I love how independent you've remained. I mean,
yes.
The aging process, none of the technology aged well with you, but you have remained independent regardless.
I try, and I think that's probably one of the harder things I struggle with. I mean, I had control pretty much of everything. Except the eyeball thing, but
that darn eyeball thing,
right?
But and then later on the hearing, and I did struggle with that a lot more than that really started in my way of changing my life, because I couldn't communicate well, and where I would, sit out and talk to the neighbors when it was nice out, or I would just go somewhere or belong to a group, or so I could do something.
Mm-hmm.
I quit because I couldn't communicate. I either couldn't hear what they were saying or understand it, and and I didn't want to feel like a snob.
Yeah.
You know, because they wouldn't necessarily know why, and I didn't have a hearing aid up until maybe 4 or 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and my left ear was totally dead. I mean, nothing. A hearing aid wouldn't have even helped, and so when I found out about the cochlear, I got so excited. The first thing I did was try to see if I could qualify, you know, and get it. And thank goodness I did. And I couldn't wait to get it. Yeah, you know, and it wasn't comfortable, and there was a lot of learning to it. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think there'd be, but the hearing, the sounding of it, you had to learn to kind of refocus your brain, because you hear, but you don't hear in the same way that you hear with your natural ear or even with a hearing aid. It's altogether different. And even now, a lot of times I'll say, what? Not as much as I used to, but most people probably get to about 50 to 55% of the use with the cochlear. But I got up to, I think they told me it was 68%.
That's awesome. Okay.
And they said, wow. And I said, well, I told you I wanted to hear bad. I mean, because it just took away like half my life. It felt like I couldn't read books because I couldn't, well, I'd have to drown everybody out of the building. And TV was next to no good, you know, and radio. Well, if I stuck it real close to my right ear, and then I mean close, almost on the top of it, that would work. But I mean, you know, it's not normal. And there again, you know. So I was more than happy, and I'd do it again.
Well, there were times where you would go through an entire interview and didn't hear anything they've said. Like if they were very soft-spoken, you'd be like, What did they say?
What did they say?
Yeah.
And I'll even now, if something is not right, whatever, I'll say, what did they say? What did they say?
Yeah. When we used to go through the interview process, you always told me, you're my eyeballs, watch body language.
Yeah. And then, are they paying attention to what I'm saying?
Are they paying attention to you, or are they only talking to me?
Or are they sitting texting?
Yep.
Ooh,
are they on their phone?
That drives me nuts.
Yep.
And I know what happens. I know what happens with people in the same room together.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whatever happened to communication?
They text. Mm-hmm. Does that count?
And
in the same room?
Yep, like my kids.
You know, and that drives me crazy, because if you don't listen, how do you know what? Well, to me, that isn't communication. I understand writing. I like to write myself, but not if I can talk and say what I need to say.
I have to say, you probably instilled choice into me very, very young when we first started. So you were our second participant. And I remember going and meeting you. And when we went through our first interview, just listening to you talk of, don't make choices for me. Oh. That has stuck with me since day one. We've been through some doozies, haven't we?
Oh,
We've been through some fun.
And I know I've screamed a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Not at you, but don't you be more careful what you throw at me or whatever. Because I remember there was one person that was, because you weren't going to be around. And so they were going to take, help during the interim. Oh, and I was so mad by the end. I didn't say they could make the choice.
Yep.
You let me make
it.
Oh, yeah. And I said, well, they thought they could make the choices to when the person would come or if,
Mhm.
Oh,
I remember that. Yeah.
Ooh,
Somebody was helping you.
I pitched the boogie.
Yeah, you did.
Pitched the
It wasn't me,
boogie.
was it?
No.
I was going to say, I don't think I would do anything
No,
like that.
I said, yeah, you don't make that choice. You don't make that choice. That is not your choice. And that's why self-direction, even with the limitations, you have excelled at self-direction because even though you've had to put some people in their place, even caregivers, even when they go to the store, we've always said during the interview,
I've gotten a little bit nasty at times because I'll tell them, what I want, and then, well, they didn't have that, so I did this. I said, you asked me first. You're spending my money.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that has always stuck with me.
Same.
So I have to give you credit for that because that's kind of become a standard, and that's why we enforce
And
choice
I had
so much.
one that, and they come back with something totally what I
Mhm.
didn't say that, and I made them take it back.
Do you remember the girl who brought you a birthday cake and she
Oh,
bought it with your
yeah.
own money?
Yeah, I do.
And it wasn't even
She
the right
didn't
cake that
last
you
long.
liked.
She wouldn't even let me walk around my own house.
Yeah. Like I said, we have some fun. We have some fun
Yeah.
stories.
So, and a few that we thought might work, and then, just and there again, depending, because I wouldn't know what they look like or
Mhm.
this. I know we've had several that said, they wanted it, but then they ended up just never quitting before they started. Let's put it
That
that
happens
way.
a lot.
Yeah.
I think there are probably a lot of people out there that are afraid.
Well, also getting them through the packet, that's tough.
Yeah, it's
3
tough.
weeks is hard if
Yeah.
you're lucky. And what I've learned, I always thought this was a Wisconsin thing, but it's not. I was on a webinar and it was Massachusetts called MA21, and they're taking 3 weeks as well. So it's not a
wild.
Wisconsin thing.
And I don't know the reason. I think probably has a lot there again in some ways to do with politics. You'd hate to think that, but
we know that.
we know it. And for me, I mean, I over the years there again, I've been asked some really strange questions, and I just like, okay.
What was the best question? Like, what can you think of that is the best question?
Well, I've had some, how do you eat? Well, I hate to tell you, but I eat the same way you do. Do you see yourself when you eat?
With my mouth?
But of course I was sassy because
I'm sure you were.
Well, I wouldn't do it now, but I sure did. When I was younger, I said, I tie a string to the end of the fork and I tie the other end to the plate and I follow it up. And then we used to get asked too. You'd show somebody, they'd come around to the school, they wanted a tour of it. Well, how many patients do you have here? What? How many patients do you have here? I said, none that I know of, but we have so many students that go here, and give them the number. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
And some people, they would come and they'd scream at you, holler. I said, I'm blind, but I'm not deaf.
That translates across disability.
Yeah.
I don't understand why like a visual disability means you have to talk louder, but it translates between lots of disabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a weird one. That's a weird behavior.
They would scream at you almost. I was like, oh, dude. So there's been a lot of weird, incidents that way. I don't say much now about the loudness or whatever, but that's because I do have a hearing problem. But boy, when you didn't. And I think one of the funniest ones that ever got. And I have to chuckle. I don't think it was terrible, but do you have Braille mirrors? Well,
Good God.
No,
I got
no,
nowhere.
not that I know of, but but everything is, well, you got Braille books, you got Braille you got Braille this and that, and I suppose, well, do you have Braille mirrors? Well, not that I know of, but it does make you have to kind of chuckle, because knowing what a mirror is,
And like as she's talking, something that comes to my mind is that this is the danger of institutionalization.
Yeah.
Is that kids and adults at that time had no disabled people in their environment to understand. And so they asked dumb, stupid questions like that.
But you would be surprised, I'm going to say, and especially throughout and I started as a kid of talking to people or speaking to people or whatever. Adults can ask some strange questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, far worse than a kid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And of course you just have to take it. You have to try to explain it the best you can and get through it, and either not want to laugh. Sometimes you just want to laugh, and sometimes it really kind of can make you angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you wonder why there's a problem with people not knowing. And I think one thing, talking to kids is good because they're going to become employers someday. No, not all of them, but a good share are.
Mm-hmm.
And you want them to know that you can do things, you just do it differently.
Yep. You would be very pleasantly surprised with our school systems these days. They're not perfect. They are far from perfect, but the kids in the school now, everything is integrated. So kids with special needs are integrated.
And I think they grow up,
way better.
Going to school with a lot of kids, with these problems, and they're going to see for themselves.
Yep.
I mean, I know kids can be some of the meanest people, you wouldn't think so, but kids are kids.
Yeah, they sure can be.
And we can be mean. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, I probably had my little bit of a share of it too, in different circumstances. I hope not as much because of dealing with it more so, because I know a lot of times you'd be walking with somebody and all of a sudden there'd be kids behind you, 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice.
Oh,
and you know what
man. That would never fly these days.
Yeah. It just happened, and there wasn't nothing you could do about it.
You should have been carrying your stick. Could have used it as a weapon.
Yeah. But you know what? When I was going to school, now they start them real young, teaching them with a cane and stuff like that. But when I was a kid, we ran around with nothing there. A cane?
Wow.
And that didn't start until after I graduated. I'm going to say
Really?
Probably there again, right about the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, wherever we went, we just went the way we were. No dog, no cane.
Did you rely on other people to guide you, or are you really just out there navigating by sound? I did
some of each. I think when I was in a place long enough, you just learned your way.
Yeah.
And you did it. If I were walking someplace that I wasn't, or like when we went swimming and had to walk 3 miles to the pool and back, no, I walked with somebody.
And your parents just let you do all this stuff? Just go on about your business?
Do I what?
When you were younger, your parents just let you do all this stuff?
For the most part. I'm going to say, when I was real young, I think they tried to stop, or even some of the neighbors would say, "Whoa, whatever. And I was too stubborn. I was a bullheaded. If the boys could do it, then I was going to do it. That was that.
Because you ran with your brothers. You ran with the kids. You ran with friends.
I did. Yeah. And I think once, we grew up together. We were always, playing together. They just got used to me and I got used to them. And you knew where you needed help. One good friend that I had when I was home and that, she'd say, yeah, I was your eyes and you were my fingers. And that's kind of the way it went. We just, if one could do something, the other couldn't. We just did it.
That's awesome.
And we never made a big thing about it. It just happened, but there again, going to the Braille jail, for me, it was a step backwards. And when I did get out of school, it was a little bit of a struggle because things, like there, we had a boys' side of the hall, girls' side of the hall, boys' stairs, girls' stairs, boys' side of the dining room, girls' side. You don't grow up that way.
No.
And so when you get out of there, you're kind of behind the times. Boy, there's stuff you got to learn, and some of it has to do with manners. Some of it has to do with it's just not normal.
Right. Well, you weren't integrated into the world.
Yeah.
So you got probably, I would assume, very comfortable within the four walls.
You're dumped into something totally,
Yep.
And of course, no, I knew, when I was home, of course, we all ate together, boys, girls, parents, it's just the way it was. So I wasn't totally stupid, but had no idea of traffic. I've seen it worse now. At least I had an idea. And even like getting a guide dog and stuff, if you don't know that kind of stuff, you can't go training because you have to know when to tell the dog to do what. And you have to know enough that, you have to check. A dog can make mistakes just like we make mistakes.
Sure.
So intermittently, I might say, Parker forward. And I do it knowing that the traffic is going this way in front of me. And if he does it, you correct him to remind him, no. You have to do it. And then you want to leave a good taste in their mouth. You don't want to just correct them and say, heck with it. You bring them around so you can tell them they're a good boy or a good girl, whatever it is. And then when they do it right, you want to praise them. You can nag a dog too much and then they're not going to want to work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of Cooky.
Yeah.
So I think you might have to be a regular. What do you think? You want to come back?
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I think we have years upon years that we can uncover here
I know.
Stories to tell. But
yeah, Lord knows I can tell a few.
I know you can.
Yes.
And I want to dig deeper into your years in self-direction as well, and all the things that you've seen, because you've seen a lot of governmental shifting with, everything, authorizations, how it's divvied out, all of that. I'd love to dive deeper into that with you. Because you've really seen it all.
Anything I know, I'm willing to tell at least most stuff.
Yeah.
You got to keep some secrets to yourself.
Oh, yeah. I think we all do one way or the other.
Well, while you're navigating this new journey of no longer having support broker services, I would highly recommend giving feedback to the fiscal agent and to your IRIS consultant on the technology that is not user-friendly for you. So continue to do that, because hopefully the world will just keep evolving in technology, and they need that feedback from you.
I know. Some days I have to call Brooke, and I'll say, you're going to get sick of hearing from me, but...
Okay.
And then
That's what they're there for.
Well, in some cases, I just have to tell them. When I get myself into predicaments, health-wise or otherwise, and then sometimes it's, how do I solve this? Or you got to get me this because I don't have it.
Yeah. Well, keep advocating for yourself.
Yeah, and she's good about it.
Good.
That's good.
All right.
Well, thanks for being here with us. I'm glad you got to travel over.
Thanks for having me.
Fun.